Niners fans, it's about that time. Sunday morning, game day, 49ers versus Falcons. You know what it is. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, J in the Bay. And once again, it's a pleasure to be in front. It's a pleasure to be on with the best fans in the NFL, the faithful, the Niner Empire. It is a special show today. Not only is it the pregame show for the 49ers and Falcons, but I also have a special guest with me today. He hails from, he currently resides in Georgia. He represents them good old Atlanta Falcons. And he talks not only about the Falcons, but he talks about all Atlanta sports. You know, they got the baseball team, they got the basketball team. He talks about it all. He's got YouTube, he's got IG, he's got Twitter. Make sure you guys check him out. He goes by the name of Big Low Kuntry. He has over 245,000 views on his YouTube channel, over 2,000 plus subscribers. He's only been doing YouTube for about a year, about a year and 3 months. Let's give a big round of applause to my main man, Big Low Kuntry, my YouTube brother. What's good?
J Big, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, brother? You doing all right today, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. I'm doing good, man. We are about an hour and a half from kickoff. I can't wait for this game to start. And as we talked about before, the 49ers and Falcons, they've had a rivalry. I know the AFC West division, the NFC West division changed up in about 2002, I believe. But before then, 30, 40 years before then, the Niners and Falcons would play 2 times a year. And I'm glad that we can finally get this rivalry renewed, man.
Yeah, man, me too, brother. It really takes me back whenever I see these two teams play. It reminds me of that old NFC West. Back in the day.
Hey, exactly, man. And I always remember, of course, prime time. He played for both teams, and I can't forget the Dirty Birds with Jamal Anderson. So exactly, man. So I'm glad that we can finally get this rivalry renewed. Shout out to all the Atlanta Falcons fans who are currently in the chat. I know Big Low refers to you guys as the coaches. Shout out to the coaches out there. Shout out to Coach Ronnie. And also check out Big Low Kuntry if you haven't. Check out Big Low Kuntry. All his social media info are in the links of this video, so make sure you check him out. Give him a sub. But yeah, man, I got to first start off with, why did you decide to start a YouTube channel?
Man, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, bro. It's like, as you see, I call all my coaches the coaching staff. I used to coach football on a collegiate level, so I moved on from that, went into the corporate world. Still have the itch. So it's one of those cases where something happens, or whenever I'm not doing anything, when Coach Ronnie don't got me washing dishes or cleaning the gutters, I would always call my friends, and then one day she was like, I think your friends are tired of you calling them. Maybe maybe you should do it. Talk about it on YouTube or something, so you can just get it out. So we started doing that, man, and the rest is history, bro.
And that was a wise decision, man, because you have a great following. Not only are you knowledgeable about the game, you're very gracious to your coaches, and they really follow you. And it's amazing to see that you've gotten so much success in about a year, in about 3 or 4 months' time, man. I just want to say salute to you, congratulations, man. And man, you are good at what you do. There's no doubt about that. You're knowledgeable, you're funny, man. So, man, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Well deserved. I gotta say, what's good to false start Falcon? He says, "Oh, we ready." And
we ready.
And the Niners, we are ready too. We got 2 teams vying for the playoffs. The Falcons enter this game 6-7. The Niners 7-6. So both teams clearly have playoffs in their future. We'll see what happens. Pretty much both teams kind of have to win out. And this game is pivotal because if the Falcons win, you guys own the tiebreaker over the Niners. And if the Niners win, the Niners get that tiebreaker over the Falcons. So what gives? I think the Niners do have some significant advantages over the Falcons. We will get into that. Got to say, what's good to Jesus. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Hopefully your Sunday is going well. And we got to hear you say it, Big Low Kuntry. This is your
Man,
famous saying.
first off, let me shout out False Start Falcon. He put that "Oh We Ready" in there. Now I don't know how familiar you are with Southern rap. I don't know if you ever heard of Pastor Troy before.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's the battle cry. You know, whenever we say "Oh We Ready," you know that means it's about to go down like Dylan Wilson.
We ready. Oh yeah, I can't wait,
man. But shouts out to False Start Falcon. What in the world, Bo?
Yeah, when that song come on, man, if that don't get you hyped up for a football game, I don't know what will, man, or Trick Daddy, man, definitely the South got some hits, that's for sure. Crazy Juice, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Hopefully all is well in your neck of the woods, man. But we got to talk about them good old ATL Falcons. I haven't seen too many Falcons games. Obviously, in the offseason, Julio Jones, one of you could argue a Mount Rushmore player in the Falcons' history, was traded. You guys got rid of your head coach. What's his name? He's with the Cowboys. Dan Quinn, exactly. Mm-hmm. You got rid of Dan Quinn, got a new head coach, Arthur Smith. And unfortunately, Calvin really, he's suffering some issues, but hopefully he gets right. But what were your expectations at the beginning of the season? Did you think the Falcons would be a contender in the NFC South? Is this a playoff team expected to make a deep run, or was this a rebuilding year? What were your thoughts?
Well, I honestly felt like we would be around the middle of the pack. So whenever you have a new coach come into a situation, it can either go terribly good or terribly bad. Like for y'all, for example, whenever y'all got Kyle Shanahan, who, I do want to let you know, I don't know if I told you this before, Jay, he's my favorite coach ever. I think he's a genius. But moving forward, whenever you got a new coach, it could go terribly good or terribly bad because he's bringing new philosophies, new ways of doing things, and the rest of the league, they haven't seen it. So moving forward, if it's one of those situations where, he's very organized and the team actually buys in, you could make that run at the playoffs, or you could make that run at the Super Bowl. Now, if it's one of those situations where you got your Urban Meyer that's kicking people and you, things like that, it could go terribly bad. But I would say that I was expecting to go like 8-9 this year. I knew that before the season we didn't have Julio. We was expecting Kyle Pitts to be Julio. I mean, but there's only one Julio. But I would say, looking at that Titans game right now, Julio hadn't caught any passes, and he really hasn't looked like Julio all season. So I think we got out of that situation at the perfect time. But I was expecting, I wasn't expecting to win the NFC South because I knew Tampa Bay was gonna get it. Yeah. But I was like, well, if everything can fall right, we might make the playoffs if we. If things could go the way that we wanted to go.
Yeah. And you mentioned Kyle Shanahan, I'm sure some Falcons fans love him or hate him, due to, what happened in the Super Bowl, but he was not the head coach. Granted, he was the offensive coordinator. But, you mentioned Matt Ryan, he had his MVP season that year with Kyle Shanahan. And I don't believe the Falcons have been to the playoffs since Shanahan left, right?
Yeah. So we went back that next year.
Okay.
Yeah. So Steve Sarkisian, he actually became our OC the next year.
Okay.
And everything went well, but it's like we always lose to the Super Bowl champions every time we make it to the playoffs. So that year, it was a real close game with the Eagles, but they ended up pulling it out and ended up winning the championship.
Yeah. And Shanahan, I think it depends on which 49er fans you ask. I think we're lucky to have Kyle Shanahan. Just based on his offensive concepts, the way he can scheme guys open. He hasn't had an entirely successful run with the 49ers, as I'm sure everyone knows. Outside of the Super Bowl run, we haven't made the playoffs in any year, but that could be chalked up to a lot of things, injuries and so forth. Definitely. But I gotta ask, since we're talking about the Falcons, what do you think? And you guys are 6-7. What do you think is the three biggest weaknesses on the team?
Well, number one is pass rush. We're not able to get to the quarterback consistently. I think we're second last in the league right now at getting to the quarterback. So in today's NFL, you got to get that quarterback off of his spine. I would say number two is the playmakers. And so like you said, unfortunately, Calvin really he's going through his issues, and we definitely praying for him, hope the best for him, and everything. But our number one wide receiver is Russell Gage. That's our number one guy. Kyle Pitts is like he number 4 overall pick, and he's been performing very well. Like he has 770 yards. He has a chance for 1,000-yard season, but you need more guys like that to compete consistently in the NFL. And then I would say number 3, honestly, would be coaching. I think Arthur Smith, he's done some good things, but there's also some things that I'm not that much of a fan of. But, anytime you get a new job, you got to go through the breaks and you got to learn, it's the ebbs and flows of it. So hopefully he can continue to improve, and maybe this team might get it all together at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, and the season is, we got about 4 more games left in the season. So the Falcons could, make the playoffs, and Arthur Smith could lead the Falcons to their first his first year with the team to the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. But I think the Niners, we'll see. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think the Niners will have their way in this game. But I want to get your perspective on that. But I got to continue to say what's good to the people in the chat. Dan Castillo, he says, "What's good? Let's go Niners." Thanks for tuning in to the stream. JR Meadows, what's good? He's giving us an early prediction on the game. He says 17 sacks coming to Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Interesting. He also gives us an early prediction. He's got the Niners winning 31-13. Interesting. Gotta say a huge what's good to owner and GM Coach Roney, one of the Atlanta Falcons coaches. Roney says, what's good? It's your girl Roney in the A. I appreciate you coming in, supporting your man, Big Low Kuntry. And Matt Ryan, he signed his extension. What was that, in 2019, 2018?
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously, he touches the ball on every snap. He is very responsible for the team's success and sometimes not success. I mean, what are your thoughts on Matt Ryan? He's got that big time contract. You can't get rid of it. It won't be easy. What are your thoughts on Matty Ice?
Matt Ryan, he's probably one of my top 2-3 favorite players of all time. I love him. It's crazy because it's like the same year me and Coach Roney started dating. That's whenever we drafted him as our quarterback. So it's like it's one of those situations where it's like our family has evolved, and Matt and Sarah, that's his wife, their family has evolved, and they've gotten kids, and we both started and grown our own respective careers and everything. So it's like I hate to see it, but I can definitely see a decline. Now, as far as financially, would it be the right decision to let him go? It seems like they might keep him for another year, so there won't be as much dead space, and then move on from him the year after that. But I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, it's one of those cases where it's like every quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, for example. If you have the right nucleus, I mean, if you have him in the right system with the right pieces around him, he could definitely be successful.
Yeah. And Matt Ryan, I mean, he's having a solid year. He's got, I believe, 17 touchdowns, 11 INTs. I'm sure that's more interceptions than Falcons fans would want. But him and Jimmy G are kind of similar at this stage. Obviously Jimmy G, it depends on how he plays. He could have easily 5 to 7 more years of his career. Matt Ryan looks like he's on, the end of his career, but he's definitely one of the most, one of the better quarterbacks. I guess you could say you compare him and Vic. Obviously, Vic kind of changed the game at the quarterback position. Never really saw a player at his position do that. But Matt Ryan, he's one of the most successful Atlanta Falcons quarterback probably in franchise history. I would say, unfortunately, he couldn't get you guys that Super Bowl ring, but it'll be interesting to see, how that plays out with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Got to say, what's good to Niner Sickness? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. I know you geeked up for the game today. Shout out also, and what's good to CG Ruthless Sports. He is at the 49ers and Falcons game today. So enjoy the game, man. Be safe out there. I know it's cold out there, that's for sure. Got to talk about your number one draft pick. And it's interesting because some Falcons fans, and I remember you did not want to draft Kyle Pitts. I remember that some Falcons fans wanted to draft a quarterback because, you got a top 5 pick. There were tons of quarterbacks who came out in this year's draft that could have been a successor to Matt Ryan. And we mentioned Kyle Pitts, his stats. I think he's got 55 catches, over 700 yards, one receiving touchdown. He's also, I believe, the leading target on the Falcons. So has Kyle Pitts, has he lived up to the hype?
I mean, I think he has. There's only been one person to get 1,000 yards of rookie season as a tight end. And, he's on pace to do it. And it's like, I don't know if you look. Well, you said you haven't watched that many games. It's like every game he's been bracketed. So the first 2 or 3 games, it's almost like everybody was saying, "Well, let's see what he could do first." Then moving forward, after he had a couple of 100-yard games and kind of took the game over, there was like, okay, we need to bracket this guy. We need somebody on top and up underneath to keep him from having explosive plays. But even with that, as a rookie. He's still been doing, fairly well. He's made some key catches throughout the game. Now, you're right. You do remember correctly. I didn't want him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I didn't want him. I wanted to trade down. I wanted Micah Parsons, and I be dang. Like this.
He looking good in Dallas. That's for sure.
He's looking good in Dallas. Coach Ronda said she didn't want to get Michael Parsons because I don't know if you've seen the Welcome to the NFL rookie thing. He obviously wanted to go to Dallas, so he went where he wanted to go. So, but yeah, I wanted to trade down to get some help for the defense. But we are where we are. Season tickets they done been paid for, so we got to go ahead and cheer for what we got.
I mean, at least you can hang your hat on. You got a generational type talent at the tight end position. He will be a mismatch every time he's on the field. Not only is he fast, he's got good hands, but he's 6'6". There are not many defenders on defense who are that tall and play secondary or linebacker. So he's always going to be a mismatch on offense. So you guys just got to continue to build around him. But that's also a player that I'm interested in seeing today from the Falcons is Kyle Pitts. I want to see what he can do. I believe he went to the tight end U with George Kittle and Travis Kelce had. So there's a little bit of rapport there. So I want to see what he can do. I think Fred Warner, one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL. I think that'll be a good matchup. Or if one of our safeties, Jimmy Ward or Jaquiski Tart, match up with him, I think that'll be interesting. But
now the question is though, Jay. Yeah. The question is if Fred Warner, if he's guarding Kyle Pitts one-on-one, because from what I hear, y'all like to run a lot of man-man coverage, right? If Kyle Pitts goes to the bathroom, will Fred Warner be handing him the toilet paper? That's the question. Is he going to be playing that kind of man coverage on?
That's a great question. I would say Fred, he's not the greatest coverage linebacker. I'm looking forward just to the competition between, two players who are great at their position. And Fred Warner has he's been our best defensive player outside of Nick Bosa easily for the past 3 to 4 years. So I'm looking forward to the matchup. Kyle Pitts does obviously have a height advantage, but we'll see if Matt Ryan will have time in the pocket. I think that's going to be Jake Matthews versus Nick Bosa. That's going to be an interesting matchup to see who has the upper hand. Obviously, I think Nick Bosa, whoever he lines up with, has he'll have his way at some point in the game, against whoever he's lining up against. So, but you mentioned, so we talked about Pitts. Now, one player who I haven't seen, but he is your best playmaker is Corduro Patterson. He is a jack of all trades for the Falcons. He runs the ball, he catches the ball. He's got, over 500 yards rushing, over 500 yards receiving, 10 total touchdowns. He can run it, he can catch it. How do you think he'll fare against this 49ers defense?
I think that this game is perfect for him because it's one of those cases where if y'all do bring that pressure, we're going to have to throw a lot of quick passes. If he's coming out of the backfield, we could get him in the flat. We could also get him in the screen passes, the Texas routes and the angle routes and things like that. And I mean, I've always been a believer where, if you got a situation where you got a guy who's just a beast at pass rushing, let's run the ball at him. The thing about, I know you call him Corduro Patterson or Cordero Patterson. In Atlanta, we call him Corduro Patterson.
Cordero.
But yeah, man. So if it's one of those cases, I think this game, he could possibly have a big game. I'm looking for him and Kyle Pitts to, if we could be successful, for them to go off.
And I think our defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryans, I think he's targeted those two guys. I think those are your two best playmakers, Patterson and, Kyle Pitts. And I'm looking forward to see how he can slow them down. I'm sure Cordero, he'll have a few good runs. At the first month and a half of the season, the 49ers run defense was putrid, one of the worst in the NFL. Over the last, I would say, month, we've gotten much better and slowing down the run. So this will be, an interesting matchup because I know that the Falcons want to have a balanced attack. They want to be able to run the ball with Patterson. They want to be able to throw to Pitts. And we just got to see, what gives. And I'm looking forward to the matchup. Kimbo, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Kimbo. NYCE, what's good? He says, yep, it's Niner Sunday. What's good, Jay? Hope you're ready for some football. Never had roasted Falcon. LOL. That's pretty good. Livy's World, what's good? Hopefully I'll be saying this. Go, Jimmy. Go, go, go. Go, Jimmy. Go, go, go. Hopefully I'll be saying that today. And speaking of Jimmy, he's having a the thing about Jimmy is he'll throw that interception to the middle linebacker. I know Deion Jones. I don't know if he's great in coverage or not. I know he's very athletic at that position, but that's one thing that Jimmy G will do. He will throw that interception to the middle linebacker. I believe Jimmy also has double-digit interceptions so far. So Matt Ryan and Jimmy G both can throw that interception. And we just got to see, we just got to see what gives and, which quarterback will give their team the best chance to win. Let me ask you this. I didn't ask you this before the show, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay. Is there any position on either side of the ball that you think the Falcons are better at? Any position, D-line, linebacker, running back, whatever. O-line?
I think we might have a slight edge on y'all in the secondary, especially with the injuries that y'all have. I think AJ Terrell, he's one of the best young cornerbacks in the league. Jalen Hawkins, he's coming to his own. I think if you put AJ Terrell by Josh Norman, I think, it's a.
You think?
I think it's a little,
Hey, Josh Norman got that peanut punch, man. But that's all he got.
He does. You got to give it to him.
Yeah, but there's no doubt. Josh Norman at this stage of his career, there's a reason why he wasn't on a football team at the beginning of the season. And we brought him on as an emergency quarterback. Jason Barrett got hurt, out for the year. Emmanuel Mosley got hurt at the beginning of the season, and also he's out for this game. Speaking of injuries, while we're on that topic, let me bring that up because I'll start off with the 49ers. The most notable injuries, Azeez, our linebacker, he usually lines up beside Fred Warner. He'll be out for this game, most likely. He didn't practice all week. Maurice Hurst, he's been out for the last few weeks. Don't expect him to play. Dre Greenwald, another linebacker, he will be out. And I believe I just saw this morning that Ambry Thomas, our corner, speaking of the secondary, he looks to be questionable due to a concussion. So I would be surprised if he plays, because I believe this injury report is as of this morning. So I'd be surprised if he plays. So, can Matt Ryan and the Falcons, do they have the weapons to exploit our deficiencies in the secondary? I think that's going to be one of the keys in this game for the Falcons. I mean, because there's, as you mentioned, there's definitely an advantage there on the Falcons. In the secondary, we've had issues at corner. We're going with Josh Norman, and then also it'll be Dante Johnson. He's been with the team for the last few years, but he's not he's okay. He's okay. But yeah, there's AJ Terrell. He's a young up and coming corner. Definitely, he's better at that spot. But and also one more injury on the Niners is running back Elijah Mitchell. He was our 6th round draft pick. Unfortunately, he's got a concussion, knee injury, but it turns out he's our best running back. But unfortunately, he won't be in this game. He's had a very productive season. The only knock on him I see is he's just been hurt. But question for you: do you think Matt Ryan and this offense can exploit the Niners secondary?
I mean, I think so. I think so. I think the biggest question is will we be able to keep them clean with your front 7? So if we could keep, if we could chip Nick Bosa, because we always, a lot of times we normally have 2 tight ends on the field. So we can stack somebody on top of Nick Bosa's outside shoulder, and just impede his progress just a little bit. Like I said, run at him. It's like you could double team Kyle Pitts if you want to, because the rest of those wide receivers, we have to remember, they are still NFL players. So if it's a situation where it's like one-on-one coverage, I could definitely trust, my guys to beat, your guys in those one-on-one situations, because many times it's one of those cases where, that quarterback is the X factor. Can that quarterback throw that guy open? So, I mean, I think it could happen. The question is, will he have the time to do it?
Yeah. And shout out to all the Falcons fans in the chat. I appreciate you guys coming through and supporting your Falcons and also supporting Big Low Kuntry. I'm sure you guys are already subscribed to Big Low Kuntry, but for those that aren't, make sure you subscribe to him, follow him on social media. All his social media links are in the description of this video. And also make sure you like the video and subscribe to J and the Bay as well. Now looking at and I agree with you. I think there will be, certain points in the game where Matt Ryan will have, his advantages in getting his receivers the ball, because our secondary, it's not great. It's probably below average to average at this point, given the injuries that we've had. Our 2 best corners are out, and possibly Ambry Thomas as well. He may be out as well. So, but looking at the Falcons, I know you guys lost your safety, Eric Harris. Do you know how that will that be
Yeah, so I think you were getting ready to ask, do I know how that would kind of affect us losing the safety? To be completely honest with you. I'm sorry, you froze up on me a little bit there, Jay.
Okay. Is it good now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you good now. I mean, as far as Eric Harris and how that would affect the safeties. So Eric Harris, he was brought here from the Raiders. He's on a 1-year contract. It's one of those cases where, he's supposed to be the older guy to teach our young safeties, because we have a 2nd-year safety in Jalen Hawkins and a rookie safety in Richie Grant. That he's supposed to kind of help teach these young safeties how to play safety in the NFL. Whenever he did play, there were just a lot of plays that he was late to. He was out of coverage a lot, and whenever he did get opportunities, he dropped like 5 interceptions this year. So a lot of people say that the backup, Jalen Hawkins, plays the safety position better than Eric Harris. So, we definitely don't want to see anybody get hurt. We definitely don't want to see that. But it might be kind of a blessing in disguise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think the defense is better this week than it was last week when Eric Harris was the starting safety, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right, yeah, no, I appreciate your perspective. We'll see if Jimmy G will be able to exploit the defense. I know we have a few weapons that I will talk about that I think will put stress on this Falcons defense, and I think we'll be able to make plays offensively. But NYCE says he's give us his three biggest weaknesses for the Atlanta Falcons. He says the running game. And lack thereof, defense and front office. I actually think their running game is one of their strengths in Corduro Patterson, unless he's talking about maybe the defense stopping the run. Maybe that's what NYCE is talking about. But yeah, I appreciate your perspective. False Start Falcon says Jay is going to be surprised today. Just watch. We lost the paper matchup, but you still got to button your chin strap and get after it. Hey, I feel you. But stats don't tell the whole story, but they give you a preview of what the team has done recently. And there are certain things that catch my eye, third down conversion rates, turnovers, and things like that, points scored, points allowed, all that good stuff. So they do matter, but they don't tell the whole story. Crazy Juice says, yeah, I do think we're lucky to have Shanahan as our coach. Also, I don't trust Jed York will sign a better coach if we were to move on from Shanahan. I completely agree. Crazy. Envy, what's good? Envy says go Falcons. Envy also says Julio Jones was weak his first year, so Pitts is going to be okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Julio Jones is no longer in the prime of his career. He's battled a lot of injuries, and Father Time is undefeated, as they say. And I think that's just what it's come down to, unfortunately, with Julio Jones. But definitely, he's a Hall of Famer and one of the great Atlanta Falcons, that's for sure. J Eli says corners, okay, and kicker. Would you? I don't know which team he's talking about. Do you know J Eli?
Yeah, so I think he brought that up whenever I asked. Whenever you asked me, where do we have the advantage over y'all?
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and kicker, I mean, that's funny. Robbie Gold, sometimes, when he misses kick, I call him Robbie Bronze. But he's been accurate. He's been accurate. It's just that it's like with offensive linemen. Offensive linemen, hey, they could play 60 snaps in a game, right? They block well on 55 of those snaps, and they miss 5 blocks or they get a penalty. That's what you remember, unfortunately.
That's true. That's true.
And with Robbie Gold, he's made, I believe he's 11 of 14 on his field goal makes, but the 3 he misses, we all remember that. Exactly. And but I think he's been accurate. Is he at his prime? No, but I don't think the Niners are going to cut him, today. So we gotta stick with who we got. But those are the injuries for both teams. I think our most significant injury is probably Elijah Mitchell in the running game. He's been our best, running back so far. And also, the depth at the linebacker position could be, I think we have solid backups, not necessarily better, but I think they'll fill in the job. And I don't think we'll be worse because of those. But we'll see what Kyle Pitts does, because I don't think we've played a tight end with the ability of a Kyle Pitts yet. I would have to admit that. I don't, so, we'll see what happens today. I love to say that a secondary's best friend is a defensive line. And yes, sir. If the pass rush can get to the quarterback, it makes the secondary cover less. And it makes their job a lot easier. So we have to talk about, now I know the Niners have deficiencies in the secondary. That's one of our weak points. But we got to talk about the Niners pass rush going up against this Falcons offensive line. They've been prone to give up sacks. Nick Bosa's having an excellent year coming off of a torn ACL last year. How do you think Jake Matthews will hold up against Nick Bosa? Because Nick Bosa, he will line up on either side of the line, at least in the last few weeks, but primarily he lines up on the offense's left side. So how do you think Jake Matthews will hold up against, Nick Bosa? He's got 14 sacks so far.
Man, it's going to be, like I said, it's definitely going to be tough. It doesn't matter which side he lines up on. I think he'll be more successful on the other side against Caleb McGarry, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we just gonna have to make sure that we chip them. And you know, if this game is going to be one of those games where the coaches is going to have to leave his ego at the door and leave his trust in the offensive line at the door. Because if you go into this game saying, all right, we're going to do a 5-step drop or a 7-step drop, and we're going to leave Joey Bosa one-on-one with this tackle over here, like, it's going to be a long day. Like, I mean, it's not something that, you know, you're going to be able to, you might be able to take a few shots every now and then and do it because it might catch them off guard. But if you're not going to have 3 hands on Joey Bosa at some point during the play, Nick Bosa at some point during the play, it's going to be a long day. It's going to go down like there's a well in the boat, bro. Like, it's going to be
tough. and I think that'll be one of the keys, you know, for the Niners defense is definitely, you know, slow down Corduro Patterson, definitely slow him down, you know, double Pitts if we have to. But we'll see, because sure the defensive game plan will have to adjust during the game. Josh Norman could be getting cooked. Dante Johnson, our other corner, could be getting cooked. So we'll see how D'Amico Ryans, you know, adjusts. But we got to get after Matt Ryan. He's a statue in the pocket. That's going to be the key for us on defense. We got DJ Jones and Eric Armstead in the middle. I love when DJ Jones make a play, so I can say, "Go DJ." That's my DJ. Go DJ. So, you know, watch out for him in the middle. And you know, we also have Arden Key. We got Samson also on the edge. That's going to be the Niners' defensive game plan. Get after Matt Ryan, make him feel uncomfortable, make this Falcons offense one-dimensional by, you know, slowing down Patterson. Got to ask you, if the Falcons win this game, who's going to be your X factor?
Oh man. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say I think it would be Kyle Pitts. I think that you know, with the way that y'all run your defenses, I think that the only way we will be able to win this game is if Matt Ryan has a big game and throws for a lot of yards. And that's going to have to happen with Kyle Pitts. Because, I mean, if you think about this, and I was talking about this last night on my show, Kyle Shanahan, he runs that zone run blocking scheme, inside or outside, right? Mm-hmm. And our coach, Arthur Smith, he runs it too. So it's like, if there's going to be a whole bunch of grounds that's going to happen, I mean, a whole bunch of yards that's going to happen on the ground, it's going to come off of like big plays, like blown assignment, somebody just missing the gap. But both of these guys know how to coach up against that zone run blocking scheme because they mastered it themselves. Now, and like, I don't know what type of defense y'all run. We run a 3-4 defense. And
we run 4-3.
Okay, y'all run a 4-3. Okay. Yeah. So that 3-4 defense, like if you have guys that can shoot the gaps perfectly at the right time, they could shut down that zone run blocking scheme because, you know, they could strike a match on that backside and get into the backfield. So that's what I'm hoping that we could do. And I'm hoping that it's one of those cases where, you know, we can make y'all throw the ball. And, you know, Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, they're all beasts. I think they're great weapons. But, you know, Kyle Shanahan's bread and butter is running. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, brother. It's going to be interesting.
It will be. And you mentioned Kyle Shanahan. One thing I wanted to mention was Kyle Shanahan knows Matt Ryan. He knows Matt Ryan's weaknesses. You know, he was with him obviously in Atlanta, and he knows all about Matt Ryan. He knows what his tendencies are. So that's an advantage for the 49ers. And you mentioned the X factors for the 49ers. Last week we ran a lot of play action passes, and that left George Kittle open. And if we're successful at that again, I think our X factor, I think it'll be George Kittle. And you mentioned, both teams want to run the ball. Since Elijah Mitchell has been out, the Niners, we haven't been as adamant about running the ball, which is kind of surprising from Shanahan. Jeff Wilson Jr., he's expected to be the starter. He's coming back from a torn meniscus. I think this will be his third or fourth game back. But we haven't really used him that much. He hasn't reached 15 carries in a game. And when Elijah Mitchell was in the game, he would regularly go over 15 carries. So
yeah,
obviously we will use Deebo Samuel. He is our jack of all trades, just like you got Cordero. Deebo will run the ball. He has a much more higher yards per carry average. So you will see Deebo. You'll see Jeff Wilson Jr. You might see Jermichael Hasty. But I think our X factor has got to be Kittle. You know, the last 2 weeks, last week he just got the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He had over 10 catches, over 150 yards receiving. Like, I don't think you guys have an answer for Kittle, but not to put shade on the Falcons. Not many teams can really guard George Kittle, and I think the same could be said about Kyle Pitts in the future. But I think George Kittle is going to have another monster game. I think the Jimmy G will perfect that play action, gets the linebackers coming to the line of scrimmage, and you just throw right over the top. And I think that's what will happen today. So my X factor versus the Falcons, I think it'll be, George Kittle. Let's go to the other side of the ball. First, let me say what's good to SGA Sports Talk channel. Thanks for tuning in to the stream today. Hopefully all is well. Crazy Juice, I agree, man. We just can't catch a break with the injuries. Unfortunately, it's a part of the game. It's all about, the attrition. Whoever has the better backups and whoever executes and whoever doesn't beat themselves. We didn't mention this. I didn't really talk about penalties and turnovers, but looking at the stats, we're kind of similar. We both have similar amount of giveaways, and penalties were kind of similar, but that's also going to be a key in the game today. NYCE, I appreciate you updating me. It just seemed like Jimmy threw more than 8 interceptions so far this season, unfortunately, when watching him, but I appreciate that update. Let's go to the other side of the ball. If the Falcons win, who's going to be their best defensive player? Who's going to have the greatest impact, in your opinion?
Well, especially since you said that it's going to be one of those cases. Well, here recently, since Elijah Mitchell hasn't been playing, y'all been passing the ball more. I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Grady Jarrett. I'm going to say Grady Jarrett is going to be the guy who's the X factor, especially since y'all are going to be running a lot of that play action. It's going to be one of those cases where he's an attacking type of defensive lineman. He's not the type to hold and look over the shoulder to see if the ball got handed off. He just goes, and whatever happens after that happens. So, if Jimmy Garoppolo can, hold on to the ball on those play actions, and we can get back there to him, hopefully we can create some turnovers in that way. And
you mentioned you guys run a 3-4, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like a multiple front.
Okay. And Grady, does he usually line up above the center, or is he on the guards?
So originally we was running like over 3-4, and Grady would line up like in the 3 technique over the guard. Okay. But here recently, like we've actually been running like a base 3-4, and he's been lining up at end. Okay. Yeah. So it's one of those cases where it's been a little bit more successful.
And is he normally lined up on the offense's right side or left side?
He switches.
He switches. Okay.
Yeah, he switches. He's all over the place.
Because one weak point in our offensive line is definitely the right side. Really? And and we got your main man from Atlanta, Alex Mack, and he had the first 6 weeks he had a so-so. He had a so-so type of game. I think he's playing better, but I think the right side of our offensive line with Daniel Brunskill at right guard, sometimes he looks like a sled on a high school field, if you know what I mean. Like he just gets pushed around. Tom Compton.
I remember Tom Compton. Yeah.
He's our starting right tackle due to Mike McGlinchey getting hurt. So, man, that could be an area where the Falcons have success. So Grady Jarrett lines up on that side.
Hold on right quick, Jay. Let me make the call. Let me tell him. Let me tell him what we can do.
Yeah, Falcons. I'm sure you guys are still wondering how to attack the Niners. So if you're watching this, just be aware that the right side can get pushed around, unfortunately. But I'm sure they've seen it in the film. But that could be an area because when Jimmy gets pressure, the left side, you got Trent Williams, the big silverback, the best offensive lineman in the NFL, definitely best left tackle. Laken Tomlinson, he's playing pretty good at that left guard spot. But when you get to the right, the talent level drops and the productivity is just not there. So Grady Jarrett, he could have some success, and Jimmy really doesn't do well with pressure coming inside as opposed to the edges. I think the edges, he can kind of get out of those situations, but interior pass rush, it's kind of hard to, get away from that defender. But my defensive X factor versus the Falcons, I would say, I guess the easiest answer to say is Nick Bosa because he's just a game wrecker. I know you mentioned that, hey, they might ship Nick Bosa, they might put a tight end over there. And I respect that, but I think Nick Bosa will move around the formation. I think it'll be much harder to do that. Also, I like Eric Armstead in the middle. He doesn't get a lot of sacks, but he does get pressure. DJ Jones as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say the entire defensive line. I think that's going to be the key. We have some injuries at linebacker. I believe in Marcel Harris and Flanagan Fowles and Talanoa Hufanga, but they're starters because of injuries. Let's just be real. Look at the secondary.
If you don't mind me asking, where does Eric Armstead normally line up?
He lines up at the defensive tackle, so he's lining up over the guard. Yeah, him and DJ.
Which side?
It changes. Sometimes he's on the left, sometimes he's on the right. They can really, they're kind of interchangeable because Eric Armstead, he used to play defensive end in our 4-3.
I remember.
But he moved over due to Javon Kinlaw getting hurt, and he's out for the year. So Armstead, he could play, either one, but normally he's in the defensive tackle above a guard. And I like him. He doesn't get the sacks, but he is good against the run, and he does get pressure. So
I want to give you a nugget. Our left guard position is kind of weak.
Okay.
So, I just want to let y'all know. 49ers fans, I want to let y'all know. That left guard position for the Falcons is kind of suspect. Jalen Mayfield, he's a rookie. He's still trying to get his foot in the NFL. So, sometimes, he moonwalking like Michael Jackson sometimes. So it gets tough.
All right. Hey, that's good to know. That's good to know. Huge shout out to Blue True. What's good? Appreciate you, Blue True. Appreciate that donation to the channel. Blue True says, what's good? J intheBay and Big Low Kuntry. Enjoy the game, guys. Will do. Hope the same for you.
Hey, Jay, I don't know if you ever watched my show, but whenever people drop super chats, I got a little tradition. You mind if I do it?
Go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Hey, Blue True, thank you so much for supporting my homeboy J intheBay. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. That's that dun dun dun. That's a Superman chat.
That's a good one. Yeah, I have to come up with something catchy, something unique to me that I can do when someone gives a super chat, man. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Dan Castillo says, hey, Jay, who makes the first touchdown for us today? I'm going to say the Ayuk show. Brandon Ayuk. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Brandon Ayuk will get the first touchdown catch of the game today. And I think that will be the first of many touchdowns scored by the Niner Empire today. NYCE says, I know, where is David Renteria? David Renteria, he's a Cardinals fan, and the Cardinals are getting spanked right now. I don't know. He hasn't been here in the last 2 weeks. So.
Hard times.
Yeah. Aiden Fam, what's good? He says, hate to say it, but I'm rooting for the Niners today. Need the Falcons to lose if the Seahawks want any chance at the postseason. Go Niners. Hey, I respect you, Aiden, man. I respect you. So it's the moment we've all been waiting for. The Falcons and Niners renew their rivalry at Levi Stadium. Kickoff is in about 45 minutes. that the Falcons and Niners both have playoff aspirations. There's some deficiencies in the Niners secondary. There's some deficiencies along that Falcons defensive line. They can't get after the quarterback. They have the least amount of sacks in the NFL. Who wins on Sunday and why, Big Low Kuntry? Let me know.
So, Jay, you know good and well. So we done known each other for like a year now, right?
Yeah.
Now, you know I'm always honest. You know I leave my heart out of it, right?
Yes, sir.
What I always talk about whenever people just have a blind allegiance to something, you know, I call it get naked. You know, I'm not getting naked whenever I say this, Jay.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like the Falcons are going to win. I feel like the Falcons are going to win today.
You think the Falcons going to win? Wait, hold on. Let me turn my volume of my computer. You said what?
Yeah, I feel like the Falcons are going to win today.
Okay, all right.
I feel like they're turning the corner because, like I said, it's one of those cases where you got a new coach and they're slowly gaining their footing. And the team has been getting better and better. I know that we could look at the stats and everything, but moving forward, it's one of those situations where it's on defense. So, like the last 2 weeks, we had 2 pick sixes the last 2 weeks. We've been getting off the field better on third down. We've been running the ball effectively. We've been converting more third down conversions ourselves. And, we've actually been getting to the quarterback. So it's like, I know that if we look at the season stats, for the whole season, it's been rough because, at the beginning of the season, we were terrible. Week 1, we got blown out by the Eagles by like 38 points, but moving forward, as we continue to progress and we continue to get confidence, I think, especially with the injuries that y'all have, I think that we can pull out a close victory, 26-23. Oh, you muted, Jay.
Forgot to take myself off mute. Thank you. Appreciate that. I just don't see it. I know the Falcons. I think outside of Pitts and Patterson, I know you still have NFL level wide receivers. I don't know how good they are. We still have NFL level corners, and we have a superstar pass rusher in Nick Bosa. I think he's going to make a difference in this game. Can't forget about Fred Warner. He's pretty good linebacker as well. Jaquiski Tart, Jimmy Ward are our safeties. I think they do a pretty good job. I think there's no doubt the 49ers defense is better. I think we're playing better. Now, since November, you mentioned the Falcons defense is getting better, but they are allowing 26 points per game on average since November. So they are allowing a lot of points. The 49ers, hey, we can score in the 30s. We've done it, I believe, twice in the last 5 weeks. So we can score over 30 points. And I think we will do that in this game. And I just think the Falcons don't have an answer on defense for our stars on offense. Kittle, Debo, Ayuk. I think we will try to run the ball, but I would imagine Jimmy may throw a little bit more. But also, I think Debo will get more carries. He's your version of Corduro Patterson. And I think Jimmy will have time in the pocket. Jimmy G, he gonna be looking to the right and looking to the left. I can see it now, Big Low Kuntry.
It could definitely happen.
I think he's going to have time in the pocket. Now, Jimmy G, he is who he is, but when he has time in the pocket, goes through his progressions, see who's the open guy. He can make the throw. It may be high sometimes, but he can make the throw. But yeah, I think Jimmy G, he'll have time. He'll find his playmakers. And I think this offense will I'm not gonna say have a field day, but I think we'll be in control of the game. And you, obviously the outliers are penalties and turnovers. If we beat ourselves with penalties and turnovers, all bets are off. The Falcons can win this game. But if we play disciplined football, like I think we can, I just think the Niners have too many advantages on both sides of the ball. And I love the money down. And some people are asking, hey, Jay, what's the money down? The money down to me is third down. And the Falcons, they've been putrid on third down. They've been allowing a lot of conversions defensively this year. Now, granted, their offense has been doing pretty good. Their offense, they've been converting pretty well. I believe they're like a top 5, top 16 of the last 3 games. So the offense is doing pretty good. But our defense, though, is also pretty good on third down. So that'll be a strength of strength. We'll see who wins that battle. But it's funny. The Falcons' defense has been pretty bad on third down, but the Niners' offense has been below average. So
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 2 weaknesses there. We've been struggling on third down. Like last week, we were 5 of 15. That's not good. That's not good enough. That's only about 30, 35%. That's just not good enough. You need to be at around 40, 50% on your third down conversion rate. But the money down, that's going to be key. I think, though, the 49ers can have more success on both sides of the ball. But, of course, you got to win on first and second, right? You got to get positive yardage on the early downs in order to have an easier third down. So in saying all that, I think the Niners should win this game. I really don't think it should be close. I think we should win easily by 10 points. I think the Niners should win this game 31-21. And I can see it getting closer if, the Falcons get garbage points, in the fourth quarter, or we got a lead. And, you see Shanahan, he like to ease up a little bit. But I think the Niners should win this game 31-21. That's what I'm thinking. I just think we're the better team. We're playing better at this stage of the season. But I can say it's going to be an easy game, but the players and coaches have to have that, hey, this is a 1-game playoff. We got to bring our hard hat because the Falcons aren't going to lay down. So I'm looking forward to the game. I'm hoping all the players stay healthy, but I just think the Niners are going to win this game.
Now, what is y'all record at home being so far this season?
That's a great question, Big Low Kuntry. We have struggled at home this year. Our last, I believe we got our first home victory against the Rams on Monday Night Football prime time. We beat the Rams. Rams are a pretty good team, man.
Yeah, they are. They're real good.
But to be real, before that, we had struggled at home. We hadn't won a home game since we beat the Rams in like 2020, I believe, or it might have been 2019. It had been a while. But since then, we beat the Rams at home, and I believe I would have to double check the schedule, but I believe since then we are undefeated at home. So actually, you know what? Before I'm going to just double check real quick. Since we beat the Rams at home, what is our record at home? Because that was a huge win versus the Rams in front of the world. So we beat the Vikings at home. So we basically were 2-0 since that Rams victory. We beat the Rams and we beat the Vikings at home. So
we haven't won any games in Atlanta. All of our wins have been away games.
Okay.
So
it's you guys play tough. Better on the road.
Yeah, that's the way it is looking. But you never know.
That's the thing with teams who have similar records like we do. Like you guys are 1 game under 500, we're 1 game over 500. There's been a lot of consistencies there, right? This team, the Niners, have been on a 4-game losing streak this season. I don't know what type of losing streak you guys have been on. I know you guys got stomped by them Patriots and them Cowboys. Ooh. They just took y'all out.
Man, they stomped a mud hole in.
Yeah.
Boy, it was rough.
The Niners haven't really gotten blown out like that. I think we've had some losses where we lost by more than 10, I believe, but we've never gotten blown out by like that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. If the Niners play their game, don't beat ourselves, we should win this game. I feel, but we will see what comes to fruition. But I got to ask you this. Obviously, the Atlanta Falcons players, there have been a lot of players in their great history. And I'm curious to know who is on your Mount Rushmore of all-time Atlanta Falcons players. Please let me know.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, we got to go with the OG primetime. Deion Sanders. Michael Vick. He changed the game. Matt Ryan, and Julio Jones.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm sitting here thinking because it's like we could look at it statistically, and then we could also look at it from a cultural standpoint too.
Right.
You know, there was the year where Jamal Anderson came in and had the whole world doing the Dirty Bird, and
Yep.
then you know you have the ageless Jesse Tucker who was cracking Jerry Rice's ribs out there in San Francisco, and I mean, man, it's a lot. So my Mount Rushmore, I got 4, right?
Yeah. How about we do this? We'll do 4 of the last 20 years. So 4 players of the last 20 years, and then we'll do 4 players in the entire franchise. How about we do that?
Okay. So the last 20 years, I'll say Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. Let's see. Let's go with, let's say Roddy White.
Okay. Yeah.
And I miss my big bro John Abraham for the last 20 years.
Yeah. He was a good pass rusher.
Oh yeah.
Honorable mention, I gotta say, maybe Ward Dunn.
I mean, Ward Dunn, Ward Dunn. He was a real good running back for us. He did a lot of things for the community, man. A lot of things for the community. But as a matter of fact, my wife, she was at the game whenever, because he was giving families in the Atlanta area houses.
Right.
My wife was at the game whenever he gave Deshaun Watson's mother a house when he was like 6 or 7 years old. Then he ended up growing up to be, NFL quarterback.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, man.
Small world.
That's crazy. Yeah, man. But in the last 20 years, I mean, all time, I would say Deion Sanders. I say Jesse Tucker. Julio Jones. And I'm gonna go with Matt Ryan.
Hey, man, that's an excellent list of players, man. The Atlanta Falcons have had a lot of great players in their history, man. And as I said at the beginning of the show, the rivalry is finally renewed. We used to play each other twice a year prior to 2002, so I'm really, really looking forward to the game. I'm glad we were finally able to link up. Our schedules were good. We could finally link up, and our 2 teams are playing, so it makes it even better. But I appreciate you for taking the time to come on to J intheBay YouTube channel. Also, I appreciate you for allowing me to go on your show, in the past as well. And for those that don't know Big Low Kuntry, tell the people what they can expect from you on social media, your YouTube platform, and all that good stuff.
Definitely, brother. So, for everybody out there that doesn't know me, my name is Big Low Kuntry. I'm just a country boy, former football coach that loves to sit around and talk about sports. I'm sorry, I'm from the country, so it's spelled Kuntry. I didn't realize I was spelling it wrong until I graduated from college. But, it's one of those situations where, I just talk about sports in general. It's not just Falcons or, it's not just Atlanta sports. I talk about, just sports. If I find something that's interesting, I'm finna create a video about it, and we're going to legitimately talk about it. Everybody who subscribes, who follows us on Twitter or Instagram, or subscribes to us on Big Low Kuntry Sports on YouTube, if you always wanted to be a coach, congratulations, because you joined the coaching staff. So we currently have the biggest coaching staff in the history of the world right now. We're growing every day, and I definitely appreciate everybody for coming on and supporting us. And look, Jay, I appreciate you for bringing the old country boy on and chopping it up with you, man. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, brother.
Hey, absolutely, man. My pleasure. Shout out to you, Big Low Kuntry, Coach Roney, and the entire ATL Falcons coaching staff. This is going to be an excellent game. Looking forward to it. Hopefully, both teams stay healthy. And I appreciate you for coming on, man. Enjoy the game today, man.
Thank you so much, my brother. Y'all stay safe. Y'all be easy.
We'll be in touch. All right.
All right, man.
All right. So that was Big Low Kuntry. Make sure you guys check him out on his social media. All his social media links are in the description of this video. Man, looking forward to the game. I'm gonna roll through these comments. NYC gives us a prediction for Jimmy G's Stat line. He's got Jimmy G going 25 of 34, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Let's go. Hey, I'll take that right now. I'll take that right now. NYCE. David McNew, what's good? David says, what's good, Jay in the Bay? Nick Bosa going to live in the Falcons backfield rent free. Hey, I agree with you. Definitely agree with you. NYCE, go DJ. That's my DJ. Go DJ. Nathan Dickey, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Nathan says, I think we can win the division. I mean, the Cardinals are struggling right now. Got to take it one game at a time. But if we win out, we'll put our best foot forward. OYG Sakona, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Hopefully all is well. We are, about 30 minutes away from kickoff. Can't wait. SGA says, who do you think will win between the Niners and Falcons, and what do you think the score will be? I got the Niners winning 31, Falcons 21. The Niners should be in control of this game. That's just honestly how I feel. I think we're just the more talented team, better coach team, and we're just playing a lot better right now. The Falcons defense, I just don't think it's that good. I don't think they have a lot of playmakers on their team, and I just think offensively we're just going to be able to move the ball downfield and do what we want once kickoff starts. That's just what I feel. NYCE gives us his X factor. He's got Jawan Jennings. He says he will establish himself today. Be on the lookout. Absolutely, man. Appreciate your contributions to the stream today. Corey Davis is in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How is your Sunday going? I know you are geeked up for the game. NYCE also gives us his defensive X factor. He's got cornerback who normally is in the slot, K'Wan Williams. Okay. Now, K'Wan did have an excellent game last week. He blitzed, who was it? Joe Burrow, and got a sack. That was a crucial third down play. Yeah, K'Wan Williams, he's been playing pretty well. Very well. Blue True says, LOL, that's cool, Big Low. Appreciate you, and greetings to your lovely Coach Roney. All right. Let's get it, GA. What's good? Let's get it, says my bros, Coach and Jay in the Bay. Let's go. Let's see. Corey Davis gives us his prediction for the game. He's got the 49ers winning 31-17. Thanks for coming through, SGA. Tommy Huxley, what's good? Tommy says we need to play our best football today. Must-win game. I would agree. I think if we lose this game, I think we can still get into the playoffs, but I just don't think we should lose to this Falcons team. I mean, they got Pitts, they got Patterson. That's all they have, in my opinion. Let those wide receivers prove to me otherwise if they can make plays, in Levi Stadium. We'll see. But I just don't see it. NYCE gives us his prediction for the game. He's got the Niners winning 35-17. He says, number 1, the special teams will come hard again. Number 2, Josh K.O. Norman will make some plays. Okay. Number 3, Debo goes for 175 total yards. Number 4, the defense will blitz Matt Ryan. And 5, the second half, we will score more. Hey, I'll take that right now, NYCE. I will take that right now. Tommy says, if Jimmy throws a pick, we lose. Jimmy, he's known to throw that pick. We've seen it, Faithful. He is known to throw that pick. And hopefully he won't do it in today's game. He didn't throw a pick last week. Tommy Huxley says, Jay in the Bay, where is David Renteria? Cards are falling apart. That's a great point, man. You and NYCE said the same thing, man. I haven't seen him in the last 2 weeks, man. What's up with them cards? Mateo Garcia, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Who do your Seahawks play today? If you're still on, let me know in them comments. Let's see. Tommy Huxley still feels that Matt Ryan is a great quarterback. I don't know about great. I think he's above average. He's probably slightly better than Jimmy G right now, but I guess is that really saying that much? Probably not. SGA says thoughts on Pitts. Man, he could be a generational tight end. He's 6'6". He's always going to have an advantage when he steps on the football field. I'm interested to see how the 49ers match up with Pitts. Who does, we play a lot of man. Who does Pitts line up against? Will it be Fred Warner? Will it be Jaquiski Tartt? Will it be Jimmy Ward? The possibilities are endless. I guess we'll see what happens. SGA gives us his prediction for the game. He's got the 49ers winning 45-18. All right. James Makel, what's good? He says, brother, another hot show. Can't wait for the Ravens to play the Niners again. Hey, I'm looking forward to it, man. I am definitely looking forward to it. Crazy Juice says, looks like the Cardinals are collapsing. Yeah, I don't know what's up with them good old Cards. You know, it's unfortunate for them that D-Hop got hurt, but you know, that unfortunately that's just a part of the game. Injuries happen. Dang, yeah, it looks like the Lions are beating the Cardinals 27-6. Wow, that's crazy. SGA says Jimmy G will throw for 495 yards. Interesting. Okay. I appreciate you, SGA. Robert Murray, what's good? He says he offers us his prediction for the game today. He's got Bosa getting 3 sacks and 49ers winning 24-10. Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that, NYCE. The Seahawks versus Rams game is going to be on Tuesday. That should be a pretty good game. A hip lady, what's good? Hip lady represents some good old Minnesota Vikings. Good luck to your team. I appreciate you for coming through and checking out the faithful, the Niner Empire. I appreciate you, a hip lady. Let's see. I appreciate everyone coming on to the stream today. I think the game plan for the 49ers is simple on defense. Slow down Pitts, slow down Corduro Patterson. Patterson is a dual threat running back. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He's got 10 total touchdowns. I think Corduro Patterson, he is the Falcons' best playmaker, I think. And that's going to be a key for this game today. We're going to have to be able to slow him down. And also, you got to watch out for Pitts. I'm intrigued to see what Pitts can do. Pitts does lead the team in targets with 88. Pitts also has, I believe, 54 catches, over 700 yards, only 1 receiving touchdown. But he is a threat when he's on the field. But I just think that the Niners have advantages. You know, the Falcons are terrible on third down. They can't get off the field. They're also terrible in getting after the quarterback. They only got 16 sacks on the season. That's the worst in the NFL. And I think those disadvantages will hurt them in today's game. I think the 49ers will do better in converting on third downs. We struggled on offense, but I think we will do better in today's game because we're playing, I think, lesser competition. The Falcons offense, though, on third down, they have done pretty well on converting third downs. They are a top 5 team. And the 49ers defense, though, is top 5 on defense. So what gives? Strength versus strength. The Falcons third down offense versus the Niners third down defense. I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure some plays will go the Falcons' way. Some plays will go the Niners' way, I'm sure. Appreciate you, hip lady. Thanks for tuning in. Continue doing what you're doing. Those live streams are paying off for you and your YouTube channel. Keep up the great work. NYCE says, hey, Jay, if Bosa gets 2 sacks per game these last couple of games, he could break the sack record. But anyway, great show, Jay. Thank you for the platform, bro. Enjoy the day and the game. Same to you, NYC. I appreciate your contributions to the stream. I appreciate your activity in them comments. But enjoy the game today, man. Maybe I'll see you in the post game tonight. Let's see. OYG says George Kittle, my guy for show. And I think George Kittle will be the X factor. He's the offensive X factor. He's had 2 great games these last 2 weeks. He was an NFC offensive player this past week. And I don't see the Falcons matching up with Kittle greatly. I don't see the player on their defense who can match up with Kittle. I just don't see it. But we shall see what happens when kickoff starts. Let's see. Another reason why I think we should win this game, not only the Falcons, they can't get after the quarterback. Their third down conversion rate is terrible. And I just think we have more weapons. I mean, if you the Falcons are probably better in their secondary. Their kicker, I guess that's debatable, but I just think the Niners just have more playmakers offensively. I think that's what's going to come down to. The players got to make plays, and they got to play like stars. Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, solid running game, Juwan Jennings. I just think that's going to be too much for the Falcons to overcome. It's Golden Grizz YouTube. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Appreciate you for coming in. Let's see. I appreciate you, a hip lady. Thanks for checking out the merch. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm not sure about the about the comments. I'm not sure. I have to look into that. Sometimes those settings have to be adjusted. But I appreciate you for tuning in to the stream. Appreciate you checking out the merch. Hopefully your Vikings do well. Let's see. Looks like SGA says the Vikings tomorrow against the Chicago Bears. Okay. Good luck in that game. Let's see. I appreciate, though, everyone in the chat today. Shout out to Blue True for that $20 donation. And again, another shout out to Big Low Kuntry Sports. And as he said, we've known each other for a year. On YouTube, he's a Falcons fan. I'm a Niners fan. And glad to finally get him on my channel. And it's fitting. The Niners play the Falcons. The rivalry is renewed. We used to play each other before 2002. Every 2 games a year. We were in the same division. The Falcons have beat us the last 2 games, but I don't think that really matters in today's game. I think without Elijah Mitchell, I think Jeff Wilson Jr. will have to step up. I think Deebo Samuel will probably get more carries in this game compared to last week. And as long as we don't beat ourselves with penalties and turnovers, I think the Niners should win this game fairly easy. That's what I think. I think the Niners should be in control of this game. The Niners, there's no reason why we should not be in control of this game as long as we don't beat ourselves. I just think we're the better team. But I appreciate everyone coming through to the stream, including the Atlanta Falcons fans, all you coaches who support Big Low Kuntry. Thanks for coming into the stream. Appreciate, of course, the faithful, the Niner Empire. Appreciate everyone in the stream today. I will have a post-game stream tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with 49ers First Takes. We will react to the 49ers and Falcons game tonight on this channel. So I appreciate it. Everyone can come back, say what's good, give me your thoughts on the game, and I'll see you guys 6 p.m. tonight. Go Niners. And I got the Niners winning 31-21 over them good old ATL Falcons. Go Niners. See you guys in the next one.